Hello, Rawlicious souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Toni. I've got the amazing Colin Smith, who is a very good friend of mine. We met in Thailand many, many years ago. We met when he wasn't even vegan, but he was a huge animal lover and advocate for the animals. And he really did enjoy training because I remember you telling me about exercising with the athletes doing triathlons, and I was like, what? Wow. But you enjoyed your meat and you enjoyed the beers. So a very interesting soul. He was actually, if I'm honest, I actually thought he'll never go vegan. Never. He loves his meat and his drink, and that goes hand in hand, not always. And I just thought, you know what? I love his heart. I love the work he does with the animals, the dogs in particular. You know, we've been doing a lot of work together with the rescue dogs. He's definitely my partner in crime for helping the doggies here over in Phuket, Thailand. So I am so honored that you've come onto the channel and sharing your journey into veganism and now even high raw vegan, and you've just completed the 21-day fruit only challenge with me that I offered to others to do together, and you did it, and you did the full 20. I think you went up to 24 days.
No, I only really did the full 21 in the end. I had grand ideas about taking it forward, but there was too many distractions, and I was invited out that day. But I want to show you my banana shirt I put on specially for you to try and make myself look a little bit more interesting. Because why you want to interview me, I really don't know when you've got all these fruit professionals on your program. But I'll try and be interesting.
You're real. You're charismatic. You're humorous. I love your
keep going. I love it.
You're just so kind and generous, and you have a big heart. And I just love that, you know, from where you've come from. You know, you was a paramedic. I mean, I'll let you share your story, but to what your whole journey is so inspiring, really inspiring. You're so humble. You're so humble about it. I love you, Colin. It's great.
Oh,
and the fact that
you're very kind-tongued. You're very kind-tongued. And coming to veganism, I've met a lot of extremely kind people. I like the environment that you circle in, you know, as vegans. And although I'm the only vegan I know in England, well, actually, no, I've got one other friend, and I go to the Vegan Fest where there's lots of us. But I basically rock my own world when I'm in the UK. But as you know, I come out to you for 4 months every year for the last few years. I've been very privileged to have the time and the pennies to come and do that. So things have worked out pretty well. My career's over now, and obviously having had like quite a help everyone sort of career in the ambulance service, I wanted to do some stuff for something or someone, and ended up in the dog world doing street dog work initially. And then
you could be doing anything else. You could be doing, you know, most people just want to retire, do nothing, maybe not really contribute to much else, but you continue to give, and you don't have to, and you do. And that for me,
I don't do it full time. But I do it almost daily. And I'm still enjoying the retirement and the wonderful weather in Phuket. We do a bit of sailing now, don't we, out there? So it's all. We're really, really blessed. I truly believe that the more, honestly, the more I give and do, I get tenfold back. And I'm not doing it because of that. It's just the people I've met are so much more quality people. People seem to have your best interests at heart, more so than a lot of people. How do you put it without putting some of your other friends down? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people are just, people in veganism seem more caring. They do. They are more caring. And I like that.
More about others, possibly. Do you know? And I know we all give in different ways and it's subjective, but I do find it's an all-rounder with the vegans. Not always, but through our connections and who we have.
We've got a lovely circle, haven't we? Lovely circle.
Yeah. We've got a lot of great friends, and I have lots of amazing clients as well that are just pure love and that want to contribute and serve and be the best and really step into their their higher selves of compassion and love. And yeah, I do. Yeah, I enjoy. That's why I love those that are on the path of win-win, where it's win for not only themselves, you know, they feel good. They feel good in the fact that they're not contributing to suffering, because when you're not vegan, sadly we are, but we're also focused on others and how others feel and the environment. It's just a win-win for everyone.
Yeah,
So I
and we have a
feel,
good laugh as well, don't we? We have a good
yeah,
laugh, don't we,
we
when we
don't
get
take life
together.
too seriously, do we?
No, no.
And then, so yeah, you've come from the paramedics, intense, you know, work in the paramedics, very stressful. You did you had a lot of health challenges in regards to more like the physical back pain. You really struggled through that.
Well, I'll just run through that story a little bit. I joined in 1992, and I was a technician with extended paramedical skills for 27 years. The last 10 of which I was working solo on rapid response vehicles. And for people that don't know what it's all about, that's basically getting there before the ambulance, trying to break the back of the call before the ambulance get there and take them to hospital. So it's very much sharp end, first attender, first responder work, servicing 999 calls physically, actually going out and taking control and trying to pretend you're really confident and giving directions and stopping bleeding and, you know, starting CPRs and stuff like that. But then sadly, towards the end of my career, after 27 years, I think I was about 48. I'd had an increasing lower back issue for the last few years of my career, and it got to the point where I physically couldn't bend over properly anymore. And I was also quite overweight, even though, like you said, I was doing triathlons. I was the fat triathlete at the back that just made up the numbers. I was more of a finisher than a proper athlete, and a lovely group of athletes allowed me to join their coaching groups in Phuket, the Z coaching group. Give them a little plug. They're still going. And I'm too old now, I think. But yeah, I've had obviously going from a terrible diet in the ambulance service for decades, kebabs and Kentucky Fried Chicken and burgers. It's all eating on the move, you know, eating not much fruit at all, hardly any veg. Yeah, not conscious. I always said to myself, as soon as I retire, I'm going to have a good diet. I'm going to make sure I have meat and 2 veg every day. I thought that was a good diet. I knew nothing about nutrition. I only knew about pills, medication, and going to sick people that were also on the SAD, as we know, the standard American diet, or the eat anything. In fact, I used to pride myself on, if I was invited out to dinner or something, what do you like to eat, Colin? I used to pride myself on saying, I'll eat anything. Don't worry about me. I'm not fussy. I thought that was the way to be easy. Yeah. But obviously, when I started doing the dog work, and I used to actually bring chicken into the dog centres to share, didn't I? For the people, I don't know if you was there, and people were saying, "How many times have we told you I'm vegan?" I didn't even understand it. It didn't register. And then through mixing with you and a few others, it dawned on me. And then when I started losing weight, we're all a little bit vain, and I lost in the first 9 months. I lost 20 kilograms. That's 45 pounds.
Going vegan.
Yeah, and that was being pretty much dirty vegan. All right, I was still doing a bit of jogging, but I went from filthy food to meat and 2 veg, and then to what did I go? Oh yeah, filthy vegan, and then whole food vegan, pretty much. And now I'm pretty much high raw. And like you say, I just done 21 days fruit only, which was amazing, because I'd only ever had maybe a fruit breakfast on occasionally when there's a buffet in the hotel. Do you know what I mean? When you're being told, go and have some fruit, you know. So very poor diet, really. And
we've seen fruit as a snack, haven't we? We always had. It was never a meal. I would have thought fruit's a meal.
We're just so spoilt for choice. I mean, we've only had proper shops in the last 30, 40 years after the Second World War. You used to take your own bags and tins to get jars to get filled up in the shop. Now we've got this array of all this junk food, all colourfully packaged, and all the lies we get from the advertisers. It's terrible, and people don't have the time or the inkling and the hereditary habits that we've been passed down through no fault of our parents is just making everyone obese, and that is the gateway. that you know, I know, and I've experienced for 27 years on the ambulance service, is the gateway to diabetes, strokes, all sorts of, I think all the diseases really. And another thing, while I remember, I lost 3 very close people to bowel cancer. My nan, my uncle, my dear sister, who about 5 years ago, she passed away. And I'm older than she is now. And she had the wonderful diet. She was always drinking the greens juice. And I was like, well, are you mad? That's got to go down the drain. But now I understand her leaning. But she also had fish and chips once a week, often meat in the meal, never a vegetarian meal. And then as soon as the 3 members, and I remember distinctly, when they were diagnosed with bowel cancer and knew their time was limited, it was only at that point they started going homeopathic.
Yeah.
Only that, and it's far too late. And as we know about the microbiome, a study in the last 10 years, and I've educated myself a little bit with it, I totally believe that all these creatures, if people don't know about the microbiome, it's like the colonies of bacteria in our stomachs, in our digestive tracts. Some promote the firing off of cancer cells into doubling up, and some hold back the possibility of, and that's the latest studies, and that's in layman's terms, that's what I understand from it. All these colonies have got different names, and there's trillions of them. In fact, there's more bacteria in the body than there is cells in the body. Actual cells of the body, trillions and trillions. So they're only just scraping the surface of what they're going to find out about the microbiome. And we're in front of the game, because the first studies that have come out are this stuff either promotes by what you eat health, or it introduces disease. Now, I can only hope that the decades I've had of eating rubbish, I can now build a good microbiome. And as you know, I do a bit of fasting, which helps. Fruit flush, bit of juice in. So I've had my finger in, mainly by your glorious lead, because we hang out so much. You have helped me so much. But I don't think I'm going to stay completely raw, but I am about 80% raw.
That's fantastic.
And I will do the occasional flush. I'll flush, just like you used to flush your plumbing every couple of years on the rented property I got. We have a plumbing flush to put the chemicals through and flush the systems out. And the fruit and juice cleanse absolutely clears the gut lining through. It's got to, isn't it? I mean, we don't actually see it going on, but it's got to.
Amazing. And who would have thought? Who would have thought? So I always that's what I was
mad, isn't it?
I wanted you to come on, because when you feel like, some people you feel, oh, they won't, you generally have a good radar on those that potentially, you want to help and support. But I knew you always had that heart, but I don't know, maybe I think that was a good thing, because I didn't bombard you with it. I just lived the lifestyle, and you just was inspired.
I was never awake to
there, and I've been very pushy with certain individuals. But you know what? There's never no right or wrong way. If it feels cold, but I always find your friends and your family are usually the hardest to help and support. But you just delved straight in, and I love that. I always want to share this story of when we went over. I share it with everyone. When we did the run, and we both went together. Went to go and help a dog. We tied both in together. The visa run in Malaysia, and to help a dog sanctuary over there. And I remember there was only one vegan restaurant and I love going to see the vegan restaurants and what's out there. And it was a good hour away, and I asked you to take
I moaned all the way.
You complained all the way, and we got there, and it wasn't that impressive, and you would even try or have anything.
I was in the restaurant next door. You went in one restaurant and I went next door.
Oh, so funny. So I just thought, oh goodness, this ain't gonna happen. But I never had the desire to even coach it. Like I didn't have that. I think back then I was so busy as well, but it didn't really enter my mind. Just naturally, you was just interested in it. So don't give up on those that you love.
No, I
Be-
don't. I don't.
so
I'm quite a preachy vegan. I really am, and
I love
I'm
it.
constantly sharing stuff on Facebook, and I try not to share the cruelty stuff because people don't want to be reminded of their uncaring, that people just don't want to know about it. Do you know what I mean? But once I'd seen a few cruelty videos in the farming industry and realised that milk is for baby calves, it's such a no-brainer. And eating
Yeah.
bacteria-ridden, chemical-dipped meat, and then people saying, "Oh, but it's grass-fed." You still got to drag it to the knife. You know, animals want to live, and I totally believe now that meat isn't good for you. I totally believe it, and I believe milk's not good for you, and I believe cheese isn't good for you. So it is so easy for me to refuse all junk food, all processed food. You know, I mean, if I was starving, I might go fishing and eat a fish, but I'm not starving. I've got choice, and I can choose the moral high ground. Let's call it the moral high ground, because that's really where we are. We're not indulging in the animal suffering, and all right, a few insects die. They say when they do crop farming, but
Yeah.
90% of the crops is for the animals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we could claim back so much land if we stopped wasting all the crop food on silage and that, you know?
Yeah, you saw through the truth. I think what ends up happening, you
Mm,
go down a rabbit hole and you start revealing the real
yeah.
truth and how we've been lied to. So it's
Mm,
taking your power back. You know, once we find
mm,
these truths, it can be disheartening and you can get angry. And I've definitely been an angry vegan, and I still at times, but I channel it different. Like you channel it by sharing and letting those know. And I think
mm,
it's good that you sprinkle in the real truth. I think it's necessary.
mm,
And because people aren't informed of this, it's so suppressed. All these industries,
mm,
even we've known about the healing modalities of raw, fresh foods. They're out there, but they censor it all. So this is why people aren't
mm.
having access. You know, even just looking on Google, living on fruit, it's not even there. The information's been totally
They
changed
say it's a
or
bad diet. They
scrutinized.
say it's unhealthy, don't they?
Yeah, and it's so sad. It really, yeah, as long as we've got this discernment and, you know, even I've always been a little critical of like what's been shared, and I don't take things as face value unless it resonates, but I've always felt there's definitely lies here, you know, if there's something they're pushing and
Mm,
censoring,
mm.
we know. So for you to, yeah, to go from, how did you feel that transition period? You know, cutting out the, did you go, you didn't go cold turkey, did you? You didn't go overnight
Well, when I first went vegan,
vegan?
within a couple of weeks, I was fully vegan.
Yeah,
And then, like during that couple of weeks, I'd come home with my shopping, I'd just put a packet of bacon in. Do you know what I mean? So I'd end
yeah,
up eating that, and I found it really difficult to drop milk. I just did. It was such an ingrained habit, and I'm such a tea drinker. Being English and an Amlets man, every opportunity you would grab a cup of tea with milk in and a sugar. Now I don't
yeah.
have any sugar, only fructose from fruits, obviously. Um, yes, I went pretty quick. Yeah, but remember, at the time that I went vegan, you just had to reach for the vegan sausages instead of the normal sausages. So I've had it easy, really, and that's another reason why I'm a little bit frustrated when people say, "Oh, what do you eat?" You just reach for the same product initially, but in the non-animal cruelty form. And all right, that yeah, it does take a little bit of getting used to, and I'm yet to find a vegan chicken that actually tastes and texture and everything of chicken. But you know, none of us went vegan because we didn't like the taste of meat. We went vegan because we don't want to be part of the animal suffering, and also you start learning about the health benefits by watching Game Changers, Forks Over Knives, the China study. And when you build your belief and start enjoying the weight loss and the more vitality and being able to run further and cycle further, swim further, without so much effort, because of course you're lighter. I'm nearly 25% lighter than I was, so you know it's a
Amazing.
no-brainer. As you go along, it becomes more and more of a no-brainer. But yeah, I did go pretty quick, and then I was. God,
Go on.
No, I was just going to say I was dirty vegan, like eating all these substitute products, and then I slowly started cleaning my act up, and now and again, like, if the kids are coming round for dinner, I make sure I've got a meat textured copy, but I don't bow to their. Oh, have you got any normal milk, Dad? No, I haven't, because I'm not going to pander to you. You can try this. So it's an opportunity for my guests. When I do invite guests and cook for them, they always say, "Oh, this is Ma, I'm really enjoying this."
Yeah.
Obviously, they go back to their filthy habits, but it's sowing seeds. Sowing seeds.
Yeah, definitely. And they've seen how you're benefiting from the lifestyle. I mean, I remember when you first went vegan and you was doing, you ended up having so much energy, you was running all the time as well.
I
So
was a lot.
yeah, so it helps
10K
like
a day. I used to run 10K a day. In fact, one
oh,
month I set myself a challenge to make sure I ran 10K a day for a month. And I was so on fire with it, I decided with my big mouth to tell a few people that I'm going to run a marathon on the last day. And mid-month, I did a half marathon. So I did 10K a day, a mid-month half marathon, and finished it on a 26 miler. All right, a slow, long 6-hour marathon, but it was totally on my own. And just like using the Garmin watch, So
which
that
marathon did you do? Was it the London?
We call it the Colin Marathon, because I was on my own. I started near my place, and I just ran until I was 13 miles away, and then ran back.
Oh, okay. So you didn't enter a race; you did it your own. Amazing.
No, because I had to do a marathon on the last day, on day 31. I had to do a marathon, so I ended up doing like 380 kilometers that month, something like that.
Have you seen a shift in your recovery? Just generally, anything that you've noticed, either not even just going vegan, but high raw? Have you noticed any
Good
difference
question.
between vegan and raw?
Good question. I used to have a tag under my eye that was getting bigger, slightly bigger every year, like like a little mole that's a little bit hanging out. That disappeared in about the first 6 months of going vegan. I had a stubborn wart. You can still see like a little scar on the back of my hand. That just, it's probably under the bed somewhere. That just disappeared. I used to play with it watching telly. I used to not pick it, but just feel it. And one day I looked down and it wasn't there.
Wow.
I've had on one of my big toes, I had what's it called when it goes a little bit yellow? A lot of athletes get, like an athlete's foot. There's a name for it, like fungal foot infection. It sounds awful. This sounds disgusting. Well, that's almost gone. I mean, that is so stubborn. And I tried everything, all the stuff from the chemist and all that, and that's just got the slightest little bit. But it's only been 4 years, and another 4 years that will have been gone. I've had a knee pain. From all that running when I first went vegan, and that has subsided quite a lot. In fact, it's non-existent now. Only when I'm going upstairs I feel that. And my back pain, which is the reason I retired early. I mean, don't tell anyone because they'll send me back to work. But it has reduced a lot. And obviously losing the weight, I can put my socks on easier. I can bend down easier to put my trainers on. Everything's easier when you haven't got a big belly in the way. And because I was so young when I lost the weight, I've not got all saggy skin. But if you're like older than me and you lose weight, you've got to lose it slowly. Do you know what I mean? So that the body can adjust. So although what am I now? About 50. I'm 56 this year, I think. I'm not young, but I'm not old. So I think I might have caught it just right, so I don't have big bingo wings and all that.
And what's your routine now then, Colin? Are you still working out?
Routine. Funny you should say that. Well, I was quite ill in Thailand, wasn't I? And after I got better, because I had a little illness, didn't I? I started trying to do press ups, and I could only do 3 the first day, 7 the next day. This morning I just knocked out 50 in a 30 and then a 20. I mean, usually I try and do 100, and then I go over the park and just those outdoor machines like they've got at the swimming pool in Phuket outdoor. They've got one of those here. So it's not like going to a proper gym, but I still get some movement in, and that really helps to keep myself satiated with food through the day, and then I get up in the morning, I'm a little bit lighter. Do you know what I mean? If I do a little bit of working out and I do a bit of sailing, so I'm quite active, but I'm not running anymore because you're evolving with thoughts all the time, and I don't want to wear my knees out or my hips. So some athletes have problems later on, but there's also schools of thought that you can maintain a stronger bone density if you're running. But your knees are like hinges. I mean, if you're using them 100 times more than everyone else, there's a high chance that unless you've got this amazing genetics or whatever, there's a high chance you could wear out your joints. So I'm just chilling a bit and just staying active and high nutritional diet, and obviously fruit leaning now.
Well, you've got that edge compared to the people who are eating a standard diet. So, that's going for you. It gives you that extra boost. And I feel that's what you notice massively on this lifestyle is the more energy we have and how good we feel without crashing. Yeah, amazing. And you've inspired others.
Do you think?
You have. And you have. You get many messages. I see.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I get inboxed a lot by people, and the weirdest. Some people that have done nothing, like close friends I've had for decades, that have done nothing but, "Oh, you enjoying your grass tonight?" or whatever. They've been messaging me saying, I see you've done quite well on the fruit, lost a bit of weight. What would you advise?" So I get the occasional, and I coach a few people a little bit here and there, and so that's been amazing, absolutely amazing, because the people you least think that will go this way, and often they're animal lovers in the sense of that they've got a cat or they've got a dog. So it's a very small step once they start believing the health benefits for them to jump on the moral sort of, I'm not involved in animal cruelty. And it's like, well, good for you, It's great.
Yeah. And you're leading by example. I think many are inspired by you. So for those that are watching, what would you say would be your sort of parting ways on giving advice in this journey? Like, is there anything that calls to you right now that somebody would benefit through your journey that you can give some tips?
Well, I'd say the earlier you start, the better. I've lost so many people. I mean, you're a bit younger than me, fair bit. But when you get to my age, 56, you have a trail of carnivore people behind you that have passed away, family and all sorts. And I think it could be a key for longevity, I think. I mean, I would say just keep educating yourself slowly. Look at some of the fine documentaries that are out there, like Game Changers, Forks Over Knives, Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy, just to give yourself a basic education, and then YouTube, and watch some of the carnivore YouTube ones and see what you think. And then, like, there's some people that are saying only eat meat, but I mean, that's crazy, But we know that fruit and all the fruits and vegetables all lower the blood pressure and make that, which means the heart's working less. But some people are advocating meat eating. But have a little look at that and go through it on you. You will come out the other end with a furtherance of your education. And you can only go one way, which is high fruit, high veg, and away from the animal cruelty. It's unnatural. Dragging a screaming animal to the knife is unnatural. And I see that clearly.
It's not necessary, is it? It's not necessary.
It's not necessary. Not necessary. It's just hereditary habits that we've been handed down. And it's only a small step. The information's there now, just a couple of clicks, and you can start learning, and you can do your first body flush, start getting all that processed and dirty steak and meat that's caught around your tubes. Most people have got a touch of diverticulitis, where you get all your poop caught in your tubes and all that. Flush it all through with a few weeks of high fruit, and then get your body, start building your microbiome colonies in your gut to nice disease fighting. You'll reduce your weight, which is the gateway to diabetes and all the rest of it. Reduce your weight and start giving your body what it needs to thrive. You don't put I don't know, lawnmower oil in a Ferrari. We're Ferraris. This is the best possession we've got. Yeah, our temple, that's right. But I mean, the one that if someone said to me, "What's your best possession?" I'd say me. Because I
Yeah,
mean, once that packs up, you got nothing, have you? It doesn't matter about possessions. And I
yeah.
used to say to my friend when I'd say to her, "Oh, how much is that?" Then talking about inulin or cacao, and she'd say, "Oh, it's this price." I said, "Oh, I'm not spending that." She said, "You got to get out of that mentality. You've got to spend on yourself. Wealth is health," and that's one I often say to people: "Wealth is health." You know, so
It's an
that's my part in
investment
investment.
in
Yeah,
yourself.
that would be my parting thing. Don't be tight on yourself because you're worth it.
Yeah, I love you. Oh, that's
Sounds
amazing.
doesn't it? Sounds like a shampoo advert because you're worth. Yeah, and we are worth it. And when the body breaks down, you'll wish you did this. You'll wish you went high fruit and
Yeah.
veg. You know, for sure. Totally
And it
believe it.
doesn't have to be all or nothing, like you've shared. It's been for even for both of us, it's been a journey, it's been a
Yeah,
process,
progression. The
progression.
progression.
Yeah, we don't need
Yeah.
perfection unless you're really, really sick, really, really think
Mm,
about not, not taking your time with it. But I feel for a
mm.
lot of us, we can. We could start cutting out and then bringing in more of the whole foods, go
Yeah,
whole plant-based. Yeah.
and don't be frightened not to eat. Have
Yeah.
24 hours fasting. You're not going to die. I mean, it's a little bit uncomfortable. Do some housework, do a few jobs, get a few of those old jobs you've been thinking about, get your mind moving. Cravings only last for 20 minutes if you're having a busy day. Drink
Yeah.
lots of water, and that's an even better flush than fruit. Do 24 hours, or even just evening meal to evening meal. Make it a good evening meal, and do that every now and again. I mean, I never thought I'd even. Yeah, I used to get well hungry, isn't it? When you go without a meal, you get
I
a bit
know.
irritable. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's a big
that's
one for me. That liberation of not getting that angry feeling every time I'm
yeah.
getting hungry and I get irritable. That just passes. It's less, and that's a good feeling rather than feeling this chaotic impatience. I don't get that now. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to
Absolutely,
starve. I'm
absolutely.
not starving.
And if there's no food that I want to eat now, if I'm out at a restaurant or whatever, I'll just have a glass of water. It really doesn't bother me. I can go without food, and I've done a couple of longer fasts. So in an emergency, I could give my food away. No
Yeah,
problem. If someone was, I'm not trying to play the martyr, but it's not the emergency that I would think it would be. Uh, a few years ago, I'd be thinking, oh, I'll be thinking of my stomach. But I know I can go a week without food.
yeah,
I just know I can. Well,
yeah,
I haven't done a week yet, but I've done a few days, and I decided to eat. I didn't have to eat.
yeah.
You
Choice.
get in a different mindset, as you know. And I thought, you know what, 3 days is enough, so I'll start eating. I've done the experiment, and will I do it again? Probably not, because you're all you're thinking about is food and how long you've done your clock watching and stuff like that. But yeah, it's totally doable, and that's further down the journey, a bit of fasting
Yeah,
and all that. And just to tell your viewers quickly, when you do fasting, the cells of the gut wall start the microbiome start eating those dead cells and passing them through, so you're cleansing yourself. It's even better than fruit, just a water fast. But that's obviously lesson 10. That's a bit further down the as we say journey, but I'm sure I don't want to bore people too much. I don't want to take too much
oh.
of everyone's time, because we must have been about 3 hours.
No, I wish we could easily. I'd love to
uh,
talk longer. But for those that want to know more about you, Colin, even just following your animal work and your activists, or just sharing your health journey, I'll share because you've got your own private Facebook group. Not Facebook. You've got your own Facebook page. No,
have I
I'll edit that one.
I've got a huge I've got a
You've got
YouTube
your
channel, but
YouTube.
it's
Hang
not.
on, just mention that. Hang on. So where they
No,
can
people don't
find
want to see
you.
all. It's only family stuff on there. I need to do a Facebook page, maybe. Oh, do you know what? You could just follow me on Facebook. You could put a
I was
link
just
to my
going to say.
Facebook page. Anyone's welcome to follow me. I do loads of mad cat things. You can private message me for advice. I'm pretty zany. I'm always up to stupid stuff to make people laugh, and obviously with a heavy leaning towards animal welfare and health. You're welcome to follow me. My name's Colin Smith, the most boring name in the world. There's millions of us. So Tony, you'll have to put a link up or something, and you're all welcome to follow me. But I mean, if 2 people follow me and want advice, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, well done.
I'm not looking for a community. I'm not looking for a community, but anyone's welcome on my life.
Yeah,
as long as you're
really
positive.
grateful
As long
for
as you're
Colin and his
positive.
work. You do amazing, Colin. You're part of our Raw Living community group as well. You're one of the moderators, so you invest a lot of your energy and time. So super grateful.
No, I
Thank
love
you
it.
for sharing
I love it. I love doing.
all your tips.
Have a lovely
Great
day,
tips
you.
there. Yeah, so
Have a lovely day.
let's end
Everyone,
with the be, feel, and stay Rawlicious.
What do I say?
Be, feel, stay Rawlicious. We're going to end with that together.
Be real and stay Rawlicious.
Be, feel, stay Rawlicious.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
Be,
feel,
stay
Rawlicious.
And a kiss.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Colin.
You're welcome. You're welcome.